What's up, everyone? I don't usually make videos reacting to news topics. I kind of save that for the podcast, and we're definitely going to be talking about this Monday night live on the podcast. But yesterday, Microsoft dropped a bombshell on us, and over 9,000 people are getting laid off, with a huge chunk of that hitting the Xbox division. And for gamers like us, it's not just corporate news anymore, it's kind of personal. This keeps happening over and over again, and the cancellation of the Perfect Dark reboot has left me pretty gutted. I've been counting down to this game for 4.5 years, ever since it was revealed in December of 2020, and I'm going to kind of break down what happened here and share why Perfect Dark means so much to me and speculate where I think Xbox goes from here. So stick around because this one's going to be a little raw. So yesterday on June 2nd, Microsoft announced layoffs of about 9,000 people, roughly 4% of its workforce. And the Xbox division took a brutal hit with studio closures and game cancellations piling up. Now this is a part of a bigger restructuring push to focus on strategic growth areas and agility, following earlier cuts this year in January, May, and June. And some say Microsoft's heavy pivot to AI and automation might be squeezing resources from gaming. And we could get into a whole conversation about AI in the industry. I like AI. It's a cool technology, and I use it pretty frequently. It does a lot of really neat things and can be a great tool. But I am very concerned that it is going to destroy certain industries, and that might include gaming. Now, the AI topic is a whole different topic we could get into. I'm not going to go there right now, but I do want to say that even though I'm heartbroken over the cancellation of Perfect Dark, my grief is nothing compared to all of these people who have lost their jobs. And I do want to say I'm sorry for your loss, and I pray that you find replacement jobs, good jobs, quickly. This is insane to me that this continues to happen, these layoffs after layoffs, while Microsoft and Xbox and even PlayStation keep telling us that the industry is great. It's doing great. We're having the best sales we've ever had and all this stuff, but they keep laying people off. And that has to hurt, to be told, hey, you've been doing a great job. Now pack your things and get out of here. I don't understand why this keeps happening, and management never seems to be the one to blame. They just keep laying off these hardworking individuals who are trying their best to bring us great entertainment. And so I really am sorry for what you're going through. On a much lesser note, the biggest gut punch for me is the cancellation of Perfect Dark and the loss of the initiative, the studio behind this reboot, which Microsoft created, I think, in 2018, somewhere around in there, to make this game specifically. And they've had to close their doors before they've even put out one game. Perfect Dark is gone, and the game is canceled. Fans have been hyped since its 2020 announcement, and now it's just over. The initiative was a big budget first-party studio. Its closure before it even releasing a game hints at a deeper problem in Xbox's strategy. Other casualties in this mass layoff situation include Rare's Everwild and other unannounced projects, plus layoffs at studios like King, ZeniMax, Sledgehammer Games, Raven Software, and Turn 10 Studios, which makes some of the Forza games. I mean, it's one of their tentpole titles. Not to mention that King makes Candy Crush, which brings in buku bucks like all the time. The Xbox gaming business is looking very shaky, and I just don't know that you can trust anything that they say anymore. Xbox CEO Phil Spencer addressed staff in a memo saying these cuts will position the video game business for enduring success by focusing on key areas and cutting management layers for agility. Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios, confirmed the cancellation of Perfect Dark, Everwild, and more, plus the initiative's shutdown. He called it a shift to adjust priorities in a changing industry. And in the hours to come, rumors started to swirl about Spencer maybe stepping down after the launch of the next Xbox generation, but Microsoft quickly squashed that and said no, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. There's been no word, as far as I know, from Sarah Bond yet, which is probably good because you don't want people mad at all three of them. But Matt Booty went on to say this, that we have made the decision to stop development of Perfect Dark and Everwild, as well as wind down several unannounced projects across our portfolio. He wrote this in an email. As part of this, we are closing one of our studios, The Initiative. These decisions, along with other changes across our teams, reflect a broader effort to adjust priorities and focus resources to set up our teams for greater success within a changing industry landscape. We did not make these choices lightly, okay, as each project and team represent years of effort, imagination, and commitment. I mean, this is just crazy. In 2023, Microsoft laid off an estimated 10,000 people. Following their acquisition of Activision, they laid off 1,900 employees in 2024, and that same year it shut down 4 Bethesda studios, including Arcane Austin and Tango Gameworks. And I was kind of quickly glancing at X, and I noticed a couple of other things people were saying. I really enjoyed Perfect Dark on the N64 and didn't mind the version that came out on Xbox in 2010. I agree with that. I was really looking forward to play this one. I totally agree with that statement. Gutted about this being canceled and a sad day for the industry overall with all the announcements. Absolutely true. There were some people who had said that trailer that we got last year was not real gameplay, that it was fake. And that's what this is about. This guy, Adam McDonald, says that he worked on it. This demo, it's actually in engine. I was one of 3 level designers that worked on it. It worked best if you played it the way the person playing in the video plays it, but it still worked even if you didn't hit the marks perfectly. And that gameplay trailer, I mean, it looked so good. I was so intrigued by the story. The combat and the traversal looked awesome. And I was excited because the original on the N64 was my most played game. It was a piece of my high school years that I loved playing with my friends and exploring this story and this world. And I really wanted to return to that magic. And the reboot really promised a return to that universe with that modern flair. And after 4.5 years of anticipation, its cancellation just feels like a punch to the gut, you know? I wanted to make new memories, and looking at this trailer, I wanted to explore and discover the influences that the original game had on this reboot, because they are clearly there in this gameplay footage. But this console generation, the Series X generation, has been really rough. It's had few killer games, constant bad news, broken promises, all these layoffs, and Perfect Dark was a title that sold me on the Series X, literally. I had just gotten a PS5, and a couple of weeks later, they announced this trailer. I had gone back and forth, debated, am I going to get a Series X or a PS5? And I decided to get a PS5, and then they announced Perfect Dark, and I was like, oh. And so about a year later, I saved up my money, and I got a Series X, just so I could play Perfect Dark. And now, years later, it's just axed, and fans are, I feel like they're reeling with disappointment and worry. I think trust in the brand and the Xbox brand is frayed and maybe beyond repair. And I don't even know if Xbox is capable of keeping its word anymore. I don't even know if they're capable of it. It almost feels like they're compulsive liars at this point. Now, Xbox isn't dead yet. They've got a solid stable of games and studios. And Matt Booty says that over 40 projects are still cooking. And titles from the June 2025 Xbox Game Showcase like Clockwork Revolution and State of Decay 3, those things are safe. But I'll have you recall that just in 2024, that same showcase showed us Perfect Dark. So I really feel like there is nothing that's safe. And they have a lot of work to do. They have to build top-notch games, rebuild faith with the fans, and nail the next console generation. It's a chance to bounce back, but only with strong leadership and real commitment to quality. And here's what I think they need to do. I would say do this. I would say Game Pass is dead. It was a failed experiment, and I would go all in with Xbox Play Anywhere with all my titles, even the third-party titles, and say, hey, you can play them on your Xbox handheld, you can play them on your Xbox console, you can even stream them to your phone, but you have to buy each game a la carte. And just get rid of Game Pass altogether. I like Game Pass. I've had Game Pass for a while, and I have it paid up for a few more months, but I will not be renewing it after that. It's a great deal. In fact, it's too great a deal. It's not sustainable, and it needs to just go away. That might be a hot take, but that's where I am with this. They just need to get rid of Game Pass altogether. And if they can do something like that and deliver high-quality games, they might just survive. I hope so anyway, but they're on really thin ice. These layoffs and cancellations really sting, especially losing Perfect Dark. And again, my thoughts and prayers go out to all these people who have dedicated their careers to an industry that seems to be turning their back on them. It's a dark day for gaming fans, but what do you think about this mess and Xbox's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll catch you on the flippity flip.